What's up guys, this is VinylicPuma, back with another Fallout video, and today I figured it could be fun to go over my top 10 weapons that I would like to see in Fallout 76 that have appeared in previous games. Now before we start, this video will only be including weapons from Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout 4 that I'd personally like to see in Fallout 76. With this in mind, feel free to let me know some of your favorites in the comments section below, because there are well over 20 weapons that I could have included in this particular video. However, without further ado, let's go ahead and start with our 10th entry, and that's going to be rocket melee weapons. So rocket melee weapons, or should I say the rocket modifications for both the baseball bat and sledgehammer in Fallout 4, were quite powerful and also looked pretty cool. Not only were these weapons great for penetrating armor, but both the baseball bat and sledgehammer were very easy to obtain early on in Fallout 4's game, potentially allowing the player to upgrade both to their rocket versions once the player had reached the later game. If rocket melee weapons return in Fallout 76, it'd be nice to see both the rocket baseball bat as well as rocket sledgehammer return. However, I'd also like to see rocket customizations return for other melee weapons, and a rocket power fist, a rocket axe, or even a rocket-powered shish kebab could be pretty cool and fun to use, provided that they are significantly more powerful than the base versions. At the very least, I guess we'll get Fallout 4's Super Sledge, which has a rocket built into it. However, it would be also nice to see some other rocket-powered melee weapons as well. Number 9. The Deliverer. Given that this weapon appears in Fallout 4, it's possible we could end up seeing it again in Fallout 76. Maybe it's just me, but I really like how the Deliverer shares a similar design with the real-world Walter PP type pistol, and I always feel like James Bond or a spy while using it. Not to mention the Deliverer is capable of some fairly impressive fire rate and basically fires as fast as you can pull the trigger. The only thing I think I'd really change at this point would be to make the weapon a lot more common. After all, there was really only one that could be obtained in Fallout 4, and having this be a non-unique weapon and just overall be a lot more common would ensure that more players could get their hands on it. Otherwise, there's not really a whole lot else to say about this one. Hopefully it'll make an appearance in Fallout 76, but I suppose we'll just have to wait and see. Number 8. The R91 Assault Rifle. Since Fallout 76's West Virginia isn't really all that far away from the Capital Wasteland, it would be pretty cool to see the R91 Assault Rifle from Fallout 3 make an appearance in Fallout 76. After all, fans have been making mods that put this weapon into pretty much every Fallout game since Fallout 3, and not having the R91 Assault Rifle appear in Fallout 76 would be a shame. Even if the Fallout 4 Assault Rifle returns in Fallout 76, having another weapon that can take advantage of 5.56 caliber would definitely be a plus. After all, having more weapons that take advantage of the 5.56 ammo type would be a good thing, as Fallout 4 really only had 2 guns, and one of those was a DLC weapon. Now, I suppose we could always wait for somebody to make an R91 mod for Fallout 76. However, if Bethesda themselves included one to help provide more variety for the 5.56 caliber, that would be great as well. Then again, I suppose they may have done that already with some other weapons that they've added to the game. Number 7. The Chainsaw. While I guess the Ripper is pretty similar to the Chainsaw, I'd still like to see a Chainsaw appear in Fallout 76. After all, as ubiquitous as chainsaws are in real life, and the fact that Fallout 76 takes place in some of West Virginia's forests, it seems pretty crazy that no one would have a chainsaw laying around before the Great War. After all, what did the citizens of West Virginia use to chop down trees? In a way, I'm sort of surprised the chainsaw didn't make an appearance in Fallout 4, and that the only game where one is available is Fallout New Vegas. You'd think that Fallout 1, 2, or Tactics would have one, but for whatever reason, I guess it just wasn't included. Maybe if we saw a chainsaw in Fallout 76, perhaps it would be substantially more powerful than the Ripper. However, you can't block while using it, leaving you vulnerable to enemy melee attacks. But that would just be my idea for balancing if Bethesda decided to include the chainsaw in Fallout 76. And ultimately, it'd be really great to see the chainsaw return, and if it doesn't, hopefully someone will mod one into the game like we've seen for Fallout 4. Number 6. The Chinese/handmade rifle. Now, I've included both of these in the same entry simply because both are effectively AK variants. While both are far different in the sense that the Chinese assault rifle fires 5.56 NATO and the handmade rifle, I guess, fires 7.62 Soviet, not having an AK variant in Fallout 76 at this point seems kind of ridiculous to me. Especially since AK-type rifles were a staple in Fallout 3 and even got added to Fallout 4 later as a part of the Nuka World DLC. Besides, the model and coding for the handmade rifle already exists for Fallout 4, so why not change things up a little bit and adapt it better for Fallout 76, like we've seen with a few other weapons for a lot of Fallout 76's promotional material. Also, like the R91 assault rifle, it seems silly to me that the Chinese or handmade rifle wouldn't make an appearance in Fallout 76 because of West Virginia's close proximity to the Capital Wasteland. After all, we know that the Chinese remnants are located in various parts of the Capital Wasteland, and it at least seems possible that some of those remnants could have made their way over to West Virginia. Hopefully, we'll see either of these weapons return, or we'll see some new type of AK variant make an appearance for Fallout 76. Number 5. Power Fist variants. While this particular entry covers a wide variety of different weapons that appear in Fallout New Vegas, it is worth mentioning that one of the cool things about New Vegas was the sheer amount of variants that the player had with Power Fists. As an example, you have weapons like the Industrial Hand, which was basically the unarmed equivalent to the Ripper. You had things like the Ballistic Fist, which is being shown in this video, which has this wrist-mounted shotgun that dealt massive damage to enemies, provided your fist connected with an enemy. And you even had things like the Zap Glove, which allowed you to shock enemies and was really good up against robots. The sheer amount of variation here was really cool, and it's kind of sad that Fallout 4 never really took advantage of some of these unique and interesting variations. Given that Fallout 76 is a spin-off game, I think it would be a wonderful opportunity to either add more different Power Fist variants or to add a whole lot more different customizations to the standard Power Fist that appeared in Fallout 4. After all, it would be cool to fire a miniature shotgun, extend a buzzsaw blade, or just zap whoever or whatever you're punching. If someone at Bethesda Game Studios comes across this video, please allow for more Power Fist variations, and also please allow for Power Fist compatibility with power armor. Number 4. The Tesla Cannon. The fact that the Tesla Cannon isn't in Fallout 4 is pretty depressing. After all, the Tesla Cannon was an amazing weapon from Fallout 3 that was prized for its impressive base damage, decent damage over time, and great ammo consumption. While it's true that the same weapon made an appearance in Fallout New Vegas, I would argue that these versions are generally worse than their Fallout 3 counterparts. But, at least conceptually speaking, I'd still say that the New Vegas Tesla cannons are really cool and should at least be considered by Bethesda to make an appearance in Fallout 76. I also don't think it would be that difficult for Bethesda to implement, since the Tesla cannon from Fallout 3 is sort of similar to Fallout 3's Fat Man. Given that we know that the Fat Man is going to return in Fallout 76 and was also in Fallout 4, it seems like all they would really have to do is alter the model, give it a different projectile along with a different firing and reload animation, and then you've got this awesome shock laser weapon. Otherwise, adding the Tesla cannon could be a great way to round out heavy energy weapons, because currently Fallout 4 just has the Gatling laser, flamer, and cryolator. Adding the Tesla cannon to the mix would be an awesome addition, and my hope is that we will see it in Fallout 76. Number 3. The Assault Carbine/Service Rifle. Both the Assault Carbine and Service Rifles have a late 50s to early 60s vibe to them, and are reminiscent of some modern weapons you might recognize, like the M4 or the M16. For that reason, I think a lot of fans find both of these particular weapons really cool, and I think a lot of us were somewhat surprised when Bethesda just didn't end up including them in Fallout 4. After all, both were fairly popular based on their implementation in Fallout New Vegas. Fortunately, we did get an awesome assault carbine / service rifle mod for Fallout 4 that finally added these weapons to the game. However, given both of these weapons' popularity from New Vegas, I'd just like to see Bethesda's take on both of these rifles for Fallout 76. And like I mentioned earlier while talking about the R91 assault rifle, adding either or both the assault carbine and service rifle would really help to fill out the weapon variety for 5.56 ammo, which was severely lacking in Fallout 4. Not to mention that the assault carbine used 5mm ammo, and that would help round out the 5mm ammo pool because the only weapon that's currently using it is the minigun. While it's likely we won't see either of these weapons, I'd still like to see them appear either from Bethesda themselves or as a part of a mod that's released sometime after launch. But really, I'd like to see Bethesda included at launch for Fallout 76. Number 2. The MESMETRON. Honestly, I'm kinda surprised this didn't get added in New Vegas or Fallout 4. After all, the MESMETRON was a really cool weapon that initially got featured in Fallout 3 and had abilities that were somewhat similar or reminiscent of the illusion magic that the player could use in Skyrim. Specifically, the player could fire the MESMETRON at a friendly NPC, putting them into this hypnotic stupor, and then the player could take advantage of them. There were also some other random effects, like how you could get the target to frenzy, which would make them attack all the various NPCs in addition to the player, provided they were close by, or you could get the enemy's head to explode, which would, of course, instantly defeat them. But really though, this weapon was perfect for messing around with the various NPCs, and could provide the player with a couple of laughs. While some of the effects may not be possible since Fallout 76 is going to have PvP and the MESMETRON could be used as a griefing tool, using this weapon on the few non-hostile NPCs that will likely appear in the game could be pretty humorous and fun to do with some friends. Hopefully we'll see the MESMETRON in Fallout 76, and I've got to say that it's kind of a shame it didn't appear in Fallout New Vegas or Fallout 4. But for our last entry, number 1, the grenade machine gun. So, I don't think it's a huge surprise that a New Vegas weapon would be in the number 1 spot. However, the grenade machine gun is just another one of those weapons that makes you wonder why it never appeared in Fallout 4. After all, having a portable grenade launcher, let alone a high-capacity automatic grenade launcher, would be amazing. Especially when compared to other options that are available, which are pretty underwhelming as the missile launcher and the broadsider weren't especially good. Having more alternatives for explosive weapons is why I'd like to see the grenade machine gun appear in Fallout 76. Now, it's not like the Fat Man was bad or anything, and it is also worth mentioning that you could have the explosive legendary effect, which would pretty much turn any non-explosive weapon into an explosive weapon, but I would just like to see some more pure projectile-based explosive type weapons in Fallout 76 compared to some of the ones that were featured in Fallout 4. Now, I won't be too upset if we don't see the grenade machine gun in Fallout 76. However, if someone at Bethesda is looking for another explosive heavy weapon to fill out Fallout 76's roster, consider adding the grenade machine gun, as it was an awesome idea, and I think many fans may like to see it return. Alright guys, I think that's going to wrap up this particular video. If you liked this video, feel free to leave a like, click the bell so you can be notified when I upload more videos, and as always, thank you all so much for supporting the channel, take care, and I'll see y'all in the next one.